Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to do this fun spring inspired look for you with a lot of blue and purple and some pink and yellow too. And I'm going to use this palette from Revolution called XX Cloud palette, and it has all these bright shades, brighter pastel shades. So I thought it would be really fun just to play around with and show you this creative look. And I'll also use some other products that I will show you in the video from MAC, especially from MAC, and some from Makeup Mecca and Revolution. So I hope you will enjoy this look and keep watching. So firstly, I'm just going to put on concealer under my eyes, and for that I'm using the Revolution Eye Bright concealer. Looks like this, and it's in the shade Fair because I want to have a little bit of a lighter color under my eyes since I have very dark circles. So I'm just going to put that on lightly. I'm also going to use a little bit of the MAC paint pot, so I'm not going to use too much of this, but just a light layer. It doesn't disperse that much product because it has this kind of a sponge tip, and I think that can be good if you just want like a light, not too much of concealer, because it easily becomes cakey if you use too much, I think. So I'm just going to blend that out with my little sponge. And this has a warm undertone. This Fair color has kind of a yellowy undertone, so it suits my skin tone. It says that it's illuminating, but I don't think it's very illuminating, to be honest. It also says it has vitamin E. I am not exactly sure what that helps for. Please let me know in the comments if you know. So as you can see, this really just brightens up in my inner corners here. I'll put a little bit more, and also here because I have some redness right here. So this is kind of my go-to foundation routine or base routine for my face, or if I'm just going to meet some friends or something like that. It's not my full glam, but it's just my go-to for every day or just for some minor events. And then I'm going to put on some of my concealer that I use on my face, and this is my like my skin tone shade. So this is the shade NC38 from MAC. And usually in their foundation shades I go for NC37, but they didn't have that in the concealers. I don't know why, but this also suits me. So it's just a tad little bit darker when it dries down, but as you can see, it's pretty close to my natural skin tone. So I'll just take that where I have some scarring, and this dries down, so I try to be a little bit quick with it. And also around my nose I have some redness here. Sometimes I use a little bit here too, just because these areas are a little bit darker. And to blend out, I'm using this MAC brush. It's the 270S brush. It's very nice for concealer, and you can see it's very dense and it has this slanted shape. And it blends this concealer out perfectly, I think. So I can really recommend this brush if you're after a new concealer brush or something like that. So I just blend it out a little bit around this area to just make it seamless. As you can see, when it dries down, it becomes a little bit darker than my skin tone, but it's not much, so it's okay. I just wish they had the shade 37 instead. But this will be perfect for summer, I think. And this is a very long-lasting concealer. doesn't really budge after you put it on, so that's good. Sometimes I use another concealer when I'm just like not doing anything special, but this is great if you're going out or something like that. But it is a little bit on the like long-lasting side, so if you just want something light on your skin that is gonna be easily removed, this may not be the one, because if you just want something light for every day, maybe another concealer would be better. But I think this is great if you're going out or just are really particular about your concealer staying in place all day. This one from MAC is great, and it's the Studio Fix 24-hour smooth wear concealer. I forgot to mention that. And then I'm going to use the Born to Glow foundation from NYX, and this is in the shade Nude. It's a little bit light for me, but I think it's okay this time of year when I'm a little bit lighter. And I use this sponge from Revolution, which I got in my last haul. It's very soft. I can feel that when I wet it now, and I can feel that it's really soft. Nice feeling. And I'm gonna just put the foundation all over my skin now. This is like it says, it's a glowing foundation, so it's kind of hydrating and makes the skin look glowy, of course. I am more of a fan of like those satin finish foundation or natural looking foundations. To be honest, I'm not really a fan of too glowy foundations or too matte looking foundations. I just want the skin to look very natural. This isn't too bad, I think. It doesn't like make you look greasy or anything, but it's just a little bit like hydrating. This shade actually goes very nicely right now when I don't have a tan. Or I know I have tan skin, but when I don't have my summer shade, this is actually pretty nice, because it has this very yellowy undertone, which I do have a lot of olive golden undertone in my skin. I also want to drag it a little bit down my neck, so I'm taking a little bit more and just blending it down like this. Now this is not a very like heavy covering concealer, no, I mean foundation, but it's very nice for every day. And I think that's enough. And then I'm going to go in with some powders just to set it. And firstly, I'm going to use this Soft Focus Under Eye powder from Makeup Mecca, and this is in the shade Soft Banana. And I'm going in with a brush to set it. This brush is also from Makeup Mecca. And I think I'll use a little bit of that soft ochre paint font on my upper lid, so I won't set that area. I'll just set under my eyes. And a little bit inside my inner corners here. This powder is supposed to be a little bit blurring and like soft focus, like it says, so it's great for under eye. I'll also use it a little bit just here by my nose because it's so blurring, so I think it's great in that area too, actually. And then I'll take another brush like this one, and I'll use another powder too from the rest of my face. And this is kind of the same type of powder, but it's for the face. It's the also from Makeup Mecca. It's the Ultra Fine Smooth powder, and these are not glowy or anything. They're just like regular finish, matte. Now, usually when I get these powders, I just put some holes in there I don't take off all the plastic. I just take a needle and poke some holes into some of them so it doesn't disperse too much powder. That's why I'm like knocking it now to get a little more powder out, but I think it's better that way than to just get a ton of powder out and then lose a lot of product and also get too much on the brush. So that's a little tip if you want that. I have combination skin, so I don't want my skin to look like too glowy. That's why I'm putting powder over this satin foundation. I think that's enough. And then I want to put on some of this MAC Soft Ochre paint pot. And I'm just using my finger. It has this yellowy shade, or like skin color, but it has a warmer undertone. So I'll just take a little bit of that on my lid. I'm not going for a heavy layer or anything like that, just a very light layer. Just to make the eyeshadow stick a little bit more. Because I'm gonna use some lighter shades today, and I also want them to pop a little bit more. So I think this will maybe do that. Like make a lighter base on my lid so I can make the shadows pop a little bit more. So I think that's enough. And now I'm just going to go straight into the eyeshadow look. And for this look, I'm going to use this XX Revolution huge eyeshadow palette. And it's the XX Cloud palette, which has all these kind of pastel spring colors. Very nice selection here. And I'm going to start with my outer corner today. And I'm going to use this brush from Zoeva. It's a little bit of a flat shading brush. And firstly, I'm going to go in with this blue shade here. And just put that in my outer corner lightly. I actually think that shade is a little bit too warm for what I'm going for. So I'm going to move into this more periwinkle blue instead, or it's a little bit more of a lilac blue. And just put that over it. I'm gonna go in a little bit with that first blue shade here too, because I want the same, I need the same shades on both sides, of course. So I'm just gonna make it look similar, but if you want to, you can just skip the first shade, but I think it brings a little bit of depth to the look. I just didn't think it was that warm in the undertone, so I haven't really tried this palette a lot, but it's okay. This other shade will make it look good. This periwinkle shade will make it more as the look I was going for. And then I want to use a little bit of a darker shade, and for that I'm going to go into this deeper purple shade. And just take a little bit of that on the outer corner here. And I'm winging this out because I want it to look like kind of a butterfly wing. So I'm winging it out here, and I'm also dragging it a little bit under the eyes here. And then I'm going back with the periwinkle shade again and just blending it together. And I also take that periwinkle shade a little bit under the eye too, in the outer corners. Like that. And then I want to go in with a kind of a purpley pink shade. And for that I want to use this color here. And I'll pick that up and then spray it with a little bit of water as usual. And I'll just put that right here on my lid. And then I'm going to use this darker blue, or it's not very dark, but it's a little bit darker than the periwinkle I used. I'm going to use this color too on the same brush and spray it a little bit. And I'm going to go with that in the middle here. And then I'll take a smaller brush and I'll use this white color here, sparkly white color here, and mix that a little bit with this light gold shade here. And then I'll spray that, and I'll put that a little bit under my eye here, and bring it a little bit into the purple I put underneath too. So like that. And then I'm just cleaning off the brush a little bit, and I'm going into a matte yellow now. I want to use this very light yellow shade here. Just tapping up the brush and then going into the inner corners with that. bring it a little bit under here too. And then I'm going to use a little bit of a pinky shade, pink shimmer shade, and I'm going into these two. This was the one I used first, but I'm also going to use a little bit of this one, so both of these, and just go in here in the very inner lid here. So I want a very nice gradient from warmer shades into cooler shades. And then I'm just taking a little bit more of the purple shimmer and the blue shimmer I used, and just mixing them and putting them out here. Not a lot, just a little bit. And then the more pinky one again, and just blending it. So there's a little bit going back and forth just to make it perfect, but I don't mind that. And then I'm going to take this more angled brush, and I'm going to use the blue shade I used before, the shimmery blue shade. I'm going to tap that off, spray it a little bit, and then take that also under the eye here. And then I want to re-intensify these colors on top here. So I'm just going to go into this periwinkle blue again. This one. And just put it over the purple one again. I'll also use this kind of lighter lilac shade down here and blend that a little bit up here. And then I'll take a little bit of this sparkly white, but I'll use a flat brush for that. I'll just use this flat brush and take this white sparkly shade, tap it up, and just a little bit under the brow bones here. And then I think the eyeshadows are done, and I'm just going to take a brush and brush off some of the fallout here, because I had a lot of fallout with the shimmery shades. I think that's the best it's gonna get. So I'll just say I'm finished with that, and now I'm going to go in with an eyeliner. Like that, and then I'm going to use the mascara, and I'm going to use the Pro XX Volume from L'Oreal, and this has one side with the primer and one side with the mascara, so I'm going in with the primer first, of course. For under my eyes, I'm going in with the blue mascara. I'm going to use this color mascara from H&M. And it has this periwinkle blue shade, and I'm just going to use that on my lower lashes. Like that. I think that gives a really fun pop and makes it, especially if you have brown eyes, it makes them really pop. And now I'm going to use brow pomade. I'm just using my regular Perfect Brow Pomade brow pot from Makeup Mecca, and it's in the shade Ebony. The sun is on and off today. It's just like suddenly it's ultra bright and suddenly it's cloudy, very cloudy. So this weather that's been going on lately, it drives me nuts. It's been every day raining and then it's just clouds and then the sun comes up for a little bit. So you never know how it's going to be. I just can't wait for summer now and the weather to be more stable. That would make me really happy, but I doubt it's going to happen anytime soon. This weather here where I live is always so unpredictable. So that was just my brow gel from MAC. And then I'm going to use some blush. And for that, I'm also going to use another product from MAC, and this is a limited edition blush. It's in the shade Love Token Long Life and Happiness powder blush. It was in one of their spring collection. It's actually many years ago now, but I love this blush. It has such nice color. If you have a olive undertone like me, I would really recommend this blush. It's perfect. It makes your face look really fresh, and you can see this color is just, it really livens up the complexion. I love this blush. I wish they come out with more of this shade, that it wasn't limited edition, because it's really perfect. But I think this shade on the lower end here, this shade might be similar to a shade called Melba they have in the permanent collection. And this I'm not sure about, but it's a very light pink color with it's not, I would say it's maybe a neutral undertone, not a cold undertone, but a neutral, and this has more of a warmer undertone, but mixed together they just look perfect on olive skin tone. I bet they look great on a lot of people actually, but I've never found a blush that I like as much as this, so if you have my skin tone, I can really recommend it. And as usual, I'll just go a little bit on my chin too, over my nose and on my forehead. I don't think I'll use any bronzer today or a lot of other product, just a little bit of highlighter, because I don't want too many colors on my face with this bright eyeshadow look. But I'm just going to use a little bit of this shimmery blush from the Balm. It's called Hot Mama, and it's a little bit of a golden pink shade, some shimmer. I feel like it's more of a topper, so I'm just going to put that lightly here. And this I'm just taking on my cheekbones, as you can see. I'm also going to use a little bit of a highlighter from Wet n Wild, and this is the Mega Glow highlighter, and the shade is called Precious Petals. It's this shade. It's a golden shade, light champagne golden shade. Since I already had a lot of fallout from the glitters, I thought it would just be nice to put a highlighter too, just under here, to blend it all a little bit together and make it look like it was more intentional. And then I'm going to hydrate my lips a little bit because they are super dry right now. I'm going to use this lip oil from Revolution. It's the rose lip oil. This is very nice, I think. I'm just going to let you know that this has a rose smell, so if you're sensitive to smells, that can be nice to know. I think it's really nice on the lips, it really hydrates them. And next I'm just going to go in with a lip liner, and for that I'm using this lip liner called Whirl from MAC. This shade is a little bit light. It's also very similar to my natural lip color, so you can't see it so much, but it just redefines my lips a little bit. And I just want my lips very light today. I don't want too bright or colorful, so I'm just going to put on this. It's the Pinking of You. The shade is Pinking of You, and this is one of the MAC lip balms. It's called Glow Play Lip Balm, and it has this light pink shade. This was also from a limited edition. I think it was called Black Cherry, but I think you can get a similar shade from their current lip balm collection. I mean. So this is just a very light pink color. It doesn't give a lot of color, but it's just a hint of the light pink. And I think it suits nicely for this look. And so that was the look done actually. It's great for like summer festivals or party or something like that. And I think it was really fun to try out this palette from Revolution, the Access Cloud palette. I do think that these colors in here are a little bit, they lack some pigment, to be honest, some of them, but it's a pastel palette, so I don't know what you can expect from it, but I think some of the shades are really good, like this blue, this one here is pretty good, but this one was a little bit lacking in pigment, I thought. Also some of the bluer shades here, they look more blue in the pan, like this one was a little bit warmer in undertone than I thought, but that's perhaps because I got a lot of warmth in my skin tone. But the rest of them, I think they were pretty nice colors, and this is great to play with if you just want to have a festival look and play around with colors. I think I got this for a nice price too, so this is really nice just to have if you want to create some creative looks like I did today. And I thought it was really fun to do this look with you, and I hope you enjoyed it, and maybe you will recreate it and show me some pictures or something. So thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.